Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. A 12-year-old boy is facing charges after police say he fired a gun at his 8-year-old sister. According to police, the incident took place on Fellows Avenue in Hanover Township on December 9th. During the incident, detectives say the children's mother, Priscilla Brantley, left her children at home unsupervised. While she was gone, police say the 12-year-old son began playing with Brantley's semi-automatic handgun. Investigators say the handgun had not been properly secured in its case and was left in Brantley's unlocked bedroom. While the son was playing with the gun, police say it discharged, fatally striking the 8-year-old victim in the stomach. Brantley has been charged with endangering the welfare of children, and her son will be prosecuted in juvenile court on charges of assault and manslaughter. Weatherly Mayor Paul Hadzik has resigned. According to officials, Hadzik resigned on Monday evening. The Borough Council has accepted his resignation and says they hope to fill the position at the next Borough Council meeting on May 27th. In a press release, the Borough Council stated that prior to his resignation, the borough had become aware of allegations of sexual harassment made by 4 borough employees. Officials say an impartial and independent law firm conducted a thorough investigation into the claims and presented their results to the council in an executive session on Monday. Hadzik presented his resignation following the presentation. Officials say no allegations of sexual abuse have been made, and the identities of the 4 complainants were not released. The results of the investigation remain confidential. Pennsylvania State Police in Hazleton held a ceremony Wednesday morning to honor troopers who have died in the line of duty. Since the inception of Pennsylvania State Police, 105 troopers have lost their lives while serving. Troop and Public Information Officer Trooper Anthony Petrosky stressed the importance of ceremonies like this in helping the public remember those who have fallen.
It's very important to recognize Pennsylvania State Police on this day because this is our history. This is the history of the Pennsylvania State Police, and we can't forget that. And in order to carry on that legacy, we have to be reminded, especially of those 105 names.
Petrosky said Troop N holds the Memorial Day ceremony annually around the beginning of May. The time of year is chosen to align with the anniversary of the enactment of the Pennsylvania State Police on May 2, 1905. This year marks the Pennsylvania State Police's 120th anniversary. At the time of its enactment, Petrosky said the Pennsylvania State Police was the first uniformed state police agency in the country. Petrosky said he is honored to serve on the shoulders of those who came before.
You know, it's an honor every day, but especially a day like today when you can wear this uniform and represent the troopers who paved the way for all of us today.
Though the state police have been around for a long time, Petrosky said their commitment has not wavered.
Just know that the state police have been around since 1905. We're going to continue to be around to protect all the citizens in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania State Representative Dane Watrow was also in attendance at the event and said he was pleased to be able to show his support.
I'm very happy to be here and show support. These men and women who serve our great state here in this Pennsylvania State Police is very essential. We need them, and they put their lives on the line for us every day, whether if it's traffic stops, criminal investigations, whatever it is, and we need to show appreciation and definitely show support.
The ceremony was held at the Troop N Hazleton headquarters located at 250 Desmond Drive in West Hazleton. Coming up on WYLN News, the Hazleton Public Transit Office announces an upcoming route change. Plus, local first responders host a mock car crash at Weatherly High School. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network and Jefferson Health, investing in your well-being and building healthier communities because more expertise and convenient care mean better outcomes and a healthier you. Learn more at lvhn.org/Jefferson.
Hi, my name is Melania. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
You will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopec and Hazleton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale,
and don't forget, everyday low prices.
No matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business.
Here's a question. Have you ever been told, don't go to a chiropractor, you're going to get hurt? That person has been hurt by a chiropractor, or it's a doctor who has had patients hurt. So respect them, but I have 1,000 patients who've been told that, and with gentle chiropractic care, changed their life. Give us a call.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Welcome back to WYLN News. The Hazleton Public Transit Office has announced an upcoming route change. According to officials, the last day to travel the Penn State Route 90 will be Friday, May 9th due to the end of the spring semester. In its place, the Route 95 Summer Loop will begin on Monday, May 12th and run until classes resume at the end of August. For additional information regarding routes and bus schedules, you can visit ridehpt.com. Local first responders visited Weatherly High School on Tuesday to host a mock car crash. During the event, law enforcement, firefighters, and medical personnel demonstrated the dangerous results of distracted driving and driving under the influence. The event was a collaboration between the Weatherly Police Department, the Carbon County Sheriff's Office, the Citizens Fire Company, the Lehigh Ambulance Association, and Lehigh Valley Health Network EMS. The purpose of the event was to promote safe driving and encourage students to make good choices. The Heritage Hills senior community is gearing up for their annual summer concert series. This year, the concert series will kick off with an award-winning Elvis tribute artist, Jeff Crick, Sr. The concert will take place at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 29th. The performance will be held at the Heritage Hill parking lot at 806th Street in Weatherly. In case of rain, the concert will be moved indoors. Complimentary refreshments will be available, and participants are asked to bring their own lawn chairs. Reservations are encouraged. To register, you can call 570-427-4500 by Thursday, May 1st. Coming up on Benton's News Choice, we discuss helmet safety on this week's Wellness Wednesday. Plus, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Ashland Part 3. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
Lehigh Valley Health Network is now proudly part of Jefferson Health. And when two healthcare leaders come together for the community, you can expect more. More access, more doctors, more convenience. Jefferson Health and Lehigh Valley Health Network. Together for the future of care.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman. Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I end up going to a dentist and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found this, the Brooks Night Guard. This was a game changer. It's smaller than other night guards that I tried, which is a good thing because it doesn't make me gag. It could fit on the top or the bottom of the teeth. It's lightweight and super comfortable. Now the Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to brooksnightguard.com and order yours today. Your teeth will thank you for it in the morning.
Go to brooksnightguard.com and use the promo code to activate your special TV offer. That's brooksnightguard.com. Order today and take advantage of this special TV offer. Your teeth will thank you for it in the morning.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lisa Marie, and I'm here with our medical director of our emergency department, Dr. Kira Weaver. Welcome, Dr. Weaver.
Thanks for having me.
So we are here, the summer's coming, we do a lot of fun things out there, but we need to talk about how to do these fun activities safely. So you can share this information with those of your loved ones who may love these type of activities, such as bicycling, ATV use. So Dr. Weaver, what are some of the things that we're seeing in the emergency department every summer that we could possibly avoid if we're doing the right things?
So I think one of the things when we think about summertime, that there's some different traumatic injuries that we see come into emergency department based on recreational activities. The biggest cohort of this area would be, things related to like bicycles, ATVs, dirt bikes, because of the fact that, you have people outside, maybe they're out in traffic with their bicycle, dirt bikes and ATVs, off-roading, and they all have this common thing where, helmet use is a big forefront of that, and wearing protective gear, obviously on the dirt bikes and ATV. So one thing we encourage, particularly, when we look at, anyone should be wearing a helmet, particularly on ATVs, bicycles, and dirt bikes. But we definitely, with parents, want to educate that you really need to make sure that your child's wearing, a helmet when participating in the events, that it fits properly, that they're wearing it properly, that it's not loose, that it would slide when they would fall off the bicycle, or, if they use ATVs or dirt bikes with older kids, that they're educated on how their safety equipment works, as well as supervision. Particularly with younger children, bicycles, they should, definitely need parental supervision, just because, if you're out in traffic, there's cars, there could be, other pedestrians, things like that, just to make sure that they're safe.
So what are we seeing? A concussion? something that is going to be a life-altering experience if they don't wear, they don't wear the proper headgear when using it. Not that you can avoid it, I'm sure, but I'm sure it helps a lot, doesn't it? By, maintaining that proper fitting helmet.
Yeah, so, helmets are, intended to protect the head from obtaining like fractures or bleeding to the brain, and then concussion, which is, it's, basically a constellation of symptoms that someone will have related to a head injury. So when patients come into the emergency department to be evaluated for concussion, it's really based off of, what they're presenting with as their symptoms. It's not really something based off of imaging. When we use imaging in the emergency department for concussion, one of the big things that we're looking for is to make sure there's not signs of like bleeding in the brain or a skull fracture, which are, more intense injuries to the brain, although concussions can be pretty severe, but those would necessitate, trauma care and admission, to the hospital. Sometimes if it's severe enough, could require surgery. Whereas a concussion, patients can often, unless they're very symptomatic with like dizziness or nausea, vomiting, severe headache, things like that, they can often go home and follow up, with, their doctor, go to a concussion clinic for the care and rehabilitation for their brain.
What are some of the signs and symptoms of a concussion?
So it kind of touched on it before, but I think, headache is a common one people, seem to notice. Sometimes you can have some dizziness, you feel a little nauseated. And then on top of it, you can have like some trouble focusing, like a brain fog. You could be sensitive to light. So, sometimes if patients have like history of migraines, they may be more sensitive and susceptible to concussion. Sometimes patients that have had previous concussions, they're at greater risk of having a subsequent one with head injury. So, obviously one insult to the brain, can make it easier, if you have another impact to kind of like bring forth the same presentation as previously or even worse.
So in regard to this, what else would you like our audience to take away?
So I think outside of, just remembering to, when you're out there enjoying these sports, to just make sure that you're at least wearing a helmet. Obviously at ATVs, dirt bikes, you may want to be wearing protective eyewear, and then also protective jackets, because of the speed that you're on these bikes. If you end up, having an accident where you're thrown from the bike or the bike rolls, it protects you somewhat, even though, with ATVs, the weight of those vehicles can cause some serious injuries. One of the big takeaways with helmets that, if you come to the emergency department, if you're able to bring the helmet with you, bring it with you so we could take a look at it to see, where impact might be. Sometimes that's helpful. But the biggest thing is if your helmet has an impact because you fell off of your bike or your ATV, is that helmet needs to be replaced. You shouldn't use that helmet again, because you can't trust that helmet's going to sustain another impact. The integrity of that helmet might be compromised. So, even though they're expensive, they're meant to protect. And so, if you do have a significant impact, it is, it did its job, right? If you walk away from it. Absolutely. Or even if you do have a concussion, it may have protected you from something more serious, but it does need to be replaced after that.
Thank you for all this great information. We want our community members to be safe. We want them to have fun. And thank you so much for watching Wellness Wednesday.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Wyln programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Hi, my name is Melania. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy.
In the last decade of the 19th century, America was hit by the Panic of 1893, triggered in part when silver and railroad bubbles that had been building across the nation burst. Its effects would last through 1897, and in Pennsylvania, unemployment would ultimately reach 25% during the worst stretches. In the Ashland area, this would be acutely felt when the Philadelphia and Reading Railroad filed for bankruptcy and numerous mines closed. Left with no other choices, Ashlanders spread across the nation and state to look for better opportunities. By 1900, the town had lost roughly 2,500 residents. Many of them, however, remembered their days in the coal region well and pined to return someday. And a seed was planted in 1900 when several former residents of the town met at a state convention in Shamokin. Remembering the good times they'd had in Ashland in their younger years, they thought it would be a good idea to give former Ashland residents a reason to come back home. They subsequently formed the Ashland Boys Association, open to any former resident of the town regardless of ethnicity or social standing. Beginning in the next few years, and continuing for decades to come, members of the ABA would return home to Ashland the Saturday before Labor Day for a grand celebration. In 1910, another facet of this homecoming was added, courtesy of the ABA's Philadelphia branch. When they arrived in town that year, they were greeted by an impromptu parade, including such participants as the local American Hose Company, Centralia Band, Knights of the Golden Eagle, and Washington Light Infantry. From this grand greeting grew the tradition of a mummers parade through town on the Saturday before Labor Day, which continued for many years even after the Ashland Boys Association's 1976 disbandment. Later, during the Great Depression, the ABA gave back to Ashland with a grand monument. The group's motto was, "Come on home," and for many members, home reminded them strongly of their mothers. Thus, at the group's 1933 reunion, it was proposed to build a memorial to honor all the town's mothers. Despite some members arguing for the ABA to give money for a library, instead the monument won out. $6,000 was raised by the organization for the monument, which ultimately be designed by Emil Seaburn and sculptor Julius Loester. For their inspiration, the artists used James McNeill Whistler's painting and arrangement in gray and black No. 1, popularly known as Whistler's Mother. Works Progress Administration funding gave the stonework for the statue, which was dedicated on September 4, 1938 during the annual Labor Day festivities. Today, the Mother's Memorial still stands downtown, continuing its mission to honor mothers both in Ashland and around the world for all they do for their children. In the meantime, trolley lines reached into Ashland at the turn of the 20th century, as they did across much of the nation. The Schuylkill Traction Company in 1889 built a trolley line that stretched from Ashland to Monomoy City, with stops along the way in Girardville and Gilberton. Many trolley lines at the time would build an amusement park or picnic grove at the end of the line to entice riders to take a full trip. In Ashland, this led to the opening of Woodland Park in 1892. The park featured an open-air theater, dance hall, and skating rink, and proved quite popular for a time as a weekend getaway for area residents. Silent movies would be shown frequently at the park's theater, and vaudeville shows and local bands would also perform there. The end of trolley service in 1929, with buses replacing the Schuylkill Traction Company's trolleys, would also spell the end of Woodland Park. It was at this time, however, that another amusement complex rose to take its place. Harvey and Alice Beery had purchased land from Harvey's parents for farming around the beginning of the century. Buckhorn Creek flowed through the property, and it occurred to the Beerys that it could be dammed to make an impressive lake. In 1920, the family did so, and 3 years later, with the lake fully formed, the summer resort known as Beery's Grove opened to the public. For $10 admission, guests could swim in the Beery's Lake, as well as go boating, or fishing, or ice skating in the winter. Cabins sprang up along the lake as well. A dance hall and band shell would also appear at the lake, as did amusements such as a carousel, a shooting gallery, and a train ride. A horse riding academy would also grace the property, and ice harvesting would take place in the lake over the winters. The Beerys sold the property in 1957, and the owners changed the name to Mountain Valley Lake. Increased competition from nearby Knoebels Amusement Resort would lead to the lake's closure in 1974. After a decade trying to sell it, it was repurchased and repackaged as a private housing development, today known as the Moon Lake Association. Breweries had taken root throughout the anthracite region in the late 1800s. Although Ashland would be comparatively late getting into the local beer game, it would be the home of the Schuylkill Home Brewing Company beginning in 1911. The brewery's name would be changed in 1915 to its more familiar title of the Ashland Brewing Company. Prohibition shut the brewery down in 1920. It would reopen in 1934, selling brands such as ABC Porter and Schuylkill Heim Beer before closing for good in 1940.
Hi, my name is Melania. Tomorrow it's going to be cloudy.
You're watching WYLN TV 35,